Hasselbeck? Should Shedeur Sanders be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback? Should they be building around that notion as they go into their offseason?
No, and they won't. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. He'll be on the roster. Just no way with just, probably what the evaluation has been of Shedeur, as a player in the pros now, as well as how he came into the league, that they would give him the opportunity to, quite frankly, I don't think he would even enter training camp as the second guy.
And so, former NFL quarterback turned analyst Matt Hasselbeck stepped out today and had plenty to say about Shedeur Sanders. Listen to this. Go ahead and check it out.
Should Shedeur Sanders be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback? Should they be building around that notion as they go into their offseason?
No, and they won't. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. He'll be on the roster because he's, on a rookie contract, or at least he'll be in the training camp roster. He's on a rookie contract from a year ago, much like Dillon Gabriel. Those guys, I would think, would add, the Browns would add, somebody with starter experience to compete, because there's just no way with just, probably what the evaluation has been of Shedeur, as a player in the pros now, as well as how he came into the league, that they would give him the opportunity to, quite frankly, I don't think he would even enter training camp as the second guy, on the roster. So.
Unbelievable. Now listen, you can make the argument that Shedeur Sanders doesn't deserve to walk into next season as the automatic starter. I can understand how someone might land there, especially coming from a former NFL quarterback. That's a fair take to have. That's his opinion, and if he stopped there, it would have just been his opinion. But saying Shedeur shouldn't even be the backup quarterback heading into next season, putting him behind Dillon Gabriel, that starts sounding like something else entirely.
I would assume. It sounds to me, Tim, like you're not convinced Shedeur Sanders has a starting quarterback job in his future, whether it's in Cleveland or anywhere.
No, it's how I felt about him coming out of college.
And so Tim Hasselbeck was one of those guys before the draft who made it very clear where he stood. He was talking down on Shedeur Sanders, saying he wasn't athletic enough and claiming he lacked the physical tools, especially when it came to arm strength. And I've got the clip lined up for y'all right now, because everything he said back then, we now know was the complete opposite.
He's a polished passer, and look, he's coming from, Pat Shurmur coaching him at Colorado, and so the similarities in terms of what he did at Colorado and some of the things that they would do in Cleveland match. I also think he's kind of ready from a mental perspective. He's a good decision maker and he's accurate. My concern with Shedeur would always be this. At the top of round one, it's usually reserved for the elite of the elite in terms of, athleticism. And I just don't think that he's there yet, either, in terms of arm ability, as well as just, the type of athlete that he is. I think sometimes it can be misleading because his father's Deion Sanders, but I think it's rarefied air when you're talking about quarterbacks at the top of the round one physically. I'm just not sure that he fits that. At the same time, Cleveland is desperate, and I do think he probably would play above his physical ability in Cleveland.
It feels good to be right, not just in one of the coldest, windiest places to play like Cleveland, but also in Chicago, the literal windy city. And that right there should tell you everything you need to know about a lot of people on television, whether they're former players or former quarterbacks. They don't really care. It's narrative over facts every single time.
It sounds to me, Tim, like you're not convinced Shedeur Sanders has a starting quarterback job in his future, whether it's in Cleveland or anywhere.
No, it's how I felt about him coming out of college. I think that there are things he does at the position extremely well that you need to be able to do well to play in the National Football League. I actually think, that's the good side of it. I think the bad side of it for him, I just think physically there are limitations that he has as a player that don't know that anyone is building around that. Could he end up, playing in the league for 10 years, in some role as a backup and then maybe get an opportunity to play? Sure, he could. But I don't think that anybody, listen, there isn't a single team of the 32 that would look at him right now and be like, yep, I want to build around that guy. It's not, I'm not saying that to be demeaning or mean. That is the reality of who he actually is as a player and how he is viewed, quite frankly, consensusly around the league.
At the very least, Tim Hasselbeck didn't duck the smoke. He stood 10 toes down on his take about Shedeur Sanders, and however you want to interpret that, it is what it is. The Hasselbecks are known for standing firm on what they believe. That's a family trait. Y'all can look that up yourselves. From spouses to brothers and everybody in between, they tend to stand 10 toes down on a lot of issues. I'm not about to pull all that up on this channel, but again, Google is free. Now, there's somebody else I want to bring into this real quick. Imani, one of the usual suspects, had something to say about Shedeur Sanders, specifically about what Todd Monken said or didn't say at that press conference the other day. Go ahead and check it out.
I think like any position on the team, that's still to be determined. Am I excited about Shedeur? Am I excited about all the quarterbacks in the room? Am I excited to coach this football team? Absolutely.
A new coach, he's not familiar with me. I'm gonna go out and show him and earn my stripes. I like that.
Here's my issue with it, 025 is...
I love it, actually. The coach is a new coach, right? I didn't have a great year, but I am a rookie, and rookies need to develop, and it takes time. And we see all these other quarterbacks that have a slow start as rookies, and then they get better, right? We see with Caleb Williams, who's the #1 draft pick overall 2 years ago. So I don't mind that. He's like, yo, I got to go out there and earn it.
The issue that Kevin Stefanski ran into with Shedeur Sanders is he didn't have a defined role for Shedeur Sanders. Is Shedeur going to be the backup? Is Shedeur going to be the starter? Is Shedeur going to be the number 3? Is Shedeur going to be the number 4? Okay, we trade Kenny Pickett. Shedeur's the number 3. Okay, we're not going to start Joe Flacco during the preseason because he's a vet. Shedeur don't get no reps. Okay, we trade Joe Flacco. Shedeur's the number 2. Shedeur had a completely undefined role in Cleveland, and as a result of that undefined role, that was a part of the reason Kevin Stefanski was hated, along with losing games. If you're Todd Monken 25, I do not know that you can come into the season and be like, man, we don't really have a defined role for Shedeur Sanders. I think you got to come in and say, Shedeur's the guy. Now, whether you believe that or not, you say it. Kevin O'Connell, J.J. McCarthy's the guy. We don't know if he believed it or not, but he said it. But if you come in here and do the same thing that Kevin Stefanski did, how can you expect A, to win over the fan base, and how can you expect B, to get good results?
So in one of my uploads from the other day, I already went ahead and broke this part down. Todd Monken said what he said because, frankly, he had to say it. Even if he believes, if everyone in that building believes that Shedeur Sanders is the day 1 starter, that's still not something you can publicly say. Especially when Deshaun Watson is in the building, a $50 million quarterback who, when healthy, was considered one of the best to ever do it, and you're not even letting him compete. Not only does that look bad financially for the organization, but it's also terrible for morale. What kind of message does that send to the rest of the locker room? No, everything has to be earned. You're a second-year player in this league. A lot didn't go your way last season. You fought through real adversity, but you're going to get every opportunity, including chances you didn't get last year, to compete for that starting spot just like everyone else. That's the script you're supposed to stick to, and that's exactly what Todd Monken said. So like I've said before, I had zero issue with it, and I thought it was the perfect response. Not just for Monken, but for Shedeur as well. And honestly, a lot of people felt the same way. Now, as far as Mr. Hasselbeck goes, as I said earlier, he said what he said. That's his opinion, and plenty of people agree with him. But this time next year, we're really gonna see what time it is. Those are just my thoughts on it. Y'all keep the conversation going down in the comments like we always do. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hype me up one time. As usual, peace and chaos.